You would have thought that I am paying Humberto to say all these things, but it never gets old. It's so great to be here and to see you here. I was here just enjoy interacting with people, and we are all here for a common goal, of course, the love for the sport and the horses. Today, however, I'm going to speak with you about the mindset of what I experienced as a jockey and things that the average person probably don't know, because as any professional athlete, jockeys put countless hours into training their bodies and perfecting their skills. But while doing so, I discovered that the physical skills and what you do on top of a horse were big time secondary to the mental strength that I needed to develop in order to become the jockey I wanted to be and the only way I could reach my goals. So why is mental strength important? Well, I soon discovered that in the profession, there are no guarantees. You could have an amazing day today, win a bunch of races, and then tomorrow be in a slump that will test you. In fact, as soon as I lost my apprenticeship, I could not buy a mount. I was in the jocks room one day waiting for the overnight to come, and I see that I don't have any mounts at all. I remember Sebastian Madrid, an experienced jockey, seeing the sad look in my face, asking me what's happening, and after I explained to him what I was going through, I will never forget what he said to me. He said, "Ramon, this may be a way of God testing you to see how bad you really want this." How bad do I want this? I felt like saying, are you kidding me? This is all I've been thinking about since the day I fell in love with the profession. For a while, things didn't improve, or God kept testing me, because my agent at the time said to me, "Ramon, Gulfstream Park is around the corner. It's going to be an extremely tough meet for you. I think that you should go to a smaller track." I thought about it and decided to stay. I gave it my best, and against all odds, I had a breakthrough meet. Actually, my mom this year brought this note that she found that I wrote to myself 25 years ago. Here, there are 7 items that I was declaring to the universe that I really wanted this. So number 1 was to be given the opportunity to take the test to get a jockey license and to pass it. Number 2 is to become a great jockey. And then the last item, number 7, is to come to the US and ride racehorses here. Now, this is not a wish list. These were intentional goals. Now, does that mean that I was free of adversity? Of course not. But when you're clear on what you want, those so-called problems are greatly minimized. A great example of what you can get when you are in the so-called zone is there is actually a phrase that is being thrown in the jocks room that is whoever wins the official race, or the stake wins the last race. And of course, when you think about it, there is if I won the official race, am I going to be under pressure for the last race? Of course no. I would be out there enjoying the ride. Now, after a while, I went from not getting mounts to riding frequently and winning often as well, to the point that I find myself at Delaware Park leading the standings. And one day, the success was so high, or I was so clear on what was going to happen in the race, that it was almost as if I could foresee or predict what was going to happen next. Almost as if it appears as if things around me were happening at a slow motion. And that is the most amazing thing to experience. Now, one day while winning a lot of races, I made a conscious decision to stop and do an auto-analysis as to why was this happening, and equally important, what happened when I was in the so-called slump. And the conclusion that I came to is that when in a slump, naturally I will tend to force things. I wanted to ask the horses to run sooner than they should, Actually, if horses could verbally talk, they probably would have said to me, dude, what are you doing? And my response to them would have been, did you know that I haven't won a race in a week? So it's something that actually 15 years ago, roughly, I had the opportunity to speak with one of the greatest jockeys in the history of the sport. And he shared with me what his strategy was when he was in the slump. And he said that he would ride the races almost as if he didn't want to win the race. And he would take a call of the horse, make sure that the horse will relax. And when he thought that he had waited long enough, he would make sure that to wait longer. As a result, he will find himself the last part of the race when it mattered the most with a lot of horse. I have many experiences with jockeys who have shared similar things to me. I actually was years ago in the sauna with Mike Smith, and we were talking about the power behind anticipating good things. And he shared with me how he created habits of positive words of affirmation, and that is not surprising being the champion he is. Now, once that I realized that I was in control of the thought that I put into my mind, I started practicing looking at myself from the outside. I know what you're thinking, this dude is nuts, but stay with me for a second because this was profound. I will be in the starting gates or right in the race, very present on what I was doing, but simultaneously, I will be a critic in the grandstand, looking at this guy, Ramon Dominguez. He's the best. I can't believe he's going to go through that opening, or look at how well he's getting that horse to relax. So that's something that became a habit, and often also I would be in the post parade. I actually remember vividly riding Harrow the Grace, Horse of the Year Harrow the Grace, and as I'm warming her up in the post parade for the Apple Blossom, I already knew I had a plan. I knew I was going to connect with her. But my thinking in the whole post parade is, what am I going to say after I get my picture taken in the interview? So when you think about this, it's really just anticipating the great things and what is going to happen next, and it's really kind of living a step ahead of just the present, and that was just amazing. So I hope that and believe that from now on, when you see a jockey, perhaps you will see beyond the skinny, strong person, somebody who has also developed a very powerful mindset. So thank you, and continue enjoying the Equestricon.